Best and worst foods for your eyesight. Number 1, oatmeal. Oatmeal is one of the fastest ways to spike your blood sugar and inflame the tiny vessels that keep your retina sharp, and inflamed retinal vessels equal blurry mornings, night glare, and that film over your eyes you can never shake. Number 2, margarine. It might say heart healthy on the label, but the oxidized fats in margarine irritate the surface of the eye and stress the microcirculation behind it. If your eyes feel dry, gritty, or slow to focus, this could be a hidden reason. Now, number 3 always surprises people: water. Most people don't realize this, but plastic bottles release tiny plastic particles into the water, particles invisible to the naked eye. You drink the water, those plastics go into your gut, then into your bloodstream, and from there, they spread through your entire body. And when that happens, your immune system goes into a constant fight mode, day and night. That constant battle is what we doctors call chronic inflammation. And because the eyes are one of the most delicate organs in your body, they're usually the first to suffer. A recent study from Emory University compared Americans over 55 with adults living on a remote island in Japan. While almost everyone on that island reaches their 90s with eyesight sharp enough to read the fine print in their Bibles without glasses, 9 out of 10 Americans over 55 are already living with some form of vision loss. And now, at last, scientists understand why. They found that Americans over 50 carry so many microplastics in their brain alone that if you put it all together, it would make a full plastic spoon. And that doesn't count the heavy metals in tap water, the pesticides on food, or the industrial chemicals breathed in daily. The good news is, the body can flush out these sight-killing toxins by itself. There are many antioxidants, natural compounds, that help the body eliminate toxins and repair vision. The first one is vitamin C. It helps neutralize toxic particles and supports the tissues inside the eye. You can find it in tomatoes, bell peppers, oranges, and berries. The second one is vitamin E. This one protects the delicate cells in your lens and retina from further damage. Almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach are rich in vitamin E. However, the third eye-healing antioxidant is anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are scientifically proven to be more potent and more effective than both of these antioxidants combined. They're found in one specific type of berry, and when used in the right way, they're showing remarkable results in my patients.
And my eyes feel cleaner than they ever did.
I couldn't see a single stitch. 2 weeks on this berry method and I'm knitting again.
Ever since I started this berry stuff, I'm back on the golf course playing my best game.
I didn't expect much, but after just a few days, my eyes quit burning. I didn't need drops as often, and every morning when I woke up, it was like my windshield had been wiped a little cleaner.
And the best part, they didn't take a single drug or injections. In fact, every surgery, even cataract and LASIK, was cancelled because they simply weren't needed anymore. All they did was use a specific frozen berry every morning, a simple 30-second protocol. And suddenly they started reporting things like colors turning bright and alive again, morning blurriness vanishing, night glare shrinking from a starburst to a clean halo, that sticky film that never wipes away, gone. Reading labels, signs, and phone screens feeling effortless again. So if your eyes are dry, blurry, burning, oversensitive to light, if night driving feels dangerous, or if that cloudy fog lingers, no matter what you do, this will be the most important video you watch today, because in the next few minutes you'll discover why most eye drops silently destroy Americans' eyesight day after day. A quick 7-question check that tells you if your eyes are in danger right now, and the frozen berry protocol, restoring sharp 20/20 vision for 21,000 people, even those with cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, or multiple problems at once. So let's get started.
Dr. Ming Wang is a world-renowned ophthalmologist who has pioneered multiple vision correction techniques over 14 years of experience. Author of the Amazon best-selling book, From Darkness to Sight, A Journey from Hardship to Healing, he's helped thousands of people naturally reverse vision loss without surgeries and intraocular injections. He became known as Dr. Vision after treating celebrities like Dolly Parton, Meryl Streep, Tom Cruise, and other Hollywood stars.
Back in 2018, I went through a natural treatment with Dr. Wang to help restore the vision of my left eye. I was really scared of surgeries and hoping I wouldn't need one. Thankfully, the results were incredible. To be honest, I don't even need to wear glasses anymore. I just wear them for style.
I like to do as most of my movie stunts as possible, and That just doesn't work with glasses, or even contact lenses for that matter. I had to have perfect vision. And the one who helped me get there was Dr. Ming Wang with his natural technique.
Today, he has agreed to break the silence and reveal all the details about the blueberry method made with frozen blueberries and 2 other special ingredients. A surprising discovery that has been completely transforming the treatment of vision problems and eye diseases, allowing the body's own regeneration process to restore perfect sight again.
I have now recommended and followed up more than 21,000 patients on this treatment, and they have all been able to regain 20/20 vision in a matter of 21 to 26 days.
According to the National Eye Institute, the scientific data shows this solution is more effective than any eye drops, glasses, or contact lenses, and is considered up to 20 times more powerful than LASIK surgery.
It works for problems like nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism without any surgery. But the most remarkable aspect of this treatment is the fact it can truly reverse age-related vision loss.
Doctor, how is this treatment different from all the others on the market?
Well, most of our treatments, such as treatment for macular degeneration or glaucoma, really rely upon slowing progression and treating symptoms. So we really didn't have any real mechanism to repair or restore vision. So all of the therapy really involves early diagnosis and really trying to clinically manage the conditions from worsening. But this new avenue opens up ways to actually restore vision.
Most people using the blueberry trick already notice their headaches and eye discomfort starting to fade on the very first day. In less than a week, they report sharp vision beginning to return, the black spots and floaters in their vision vanishing, and the previously distorted sight straightening. In about a month, they are back to reading even the fine prints on labels, watching TV with their family, and even regaining the confidence to drive again even at night. It can fully restore your independence and autonomy so you don't depend on others for simple daily tasks. It enhances contrast vision and the eye perception of colors, so everything seems more vibrant and, to put it simply, much more beautiful.
Further research from renowned scientists at Wilmer Eye Institute at Johns Hopkins Hospital confirm this blueberry method can activate a special group of cells in the body capable of regenerating the damaged parts of the eyes, restoring the sharp vision you had in your youth. What made this discovery shocking beyond revolutionary is Dr. Wang's retail of how he discovered it.
This is where things get alarming and frankly even dangerous, because although I started spreading the blueberry protocol, I was not the one who came up with it. This so-called trick was a well-kept secret hidden by the government, which I only discovered after extensive research and leaked information. You see, a former government agent leaked official CIA documents revealing that this solution was originally developed by the KGB, the feared Soviet intelligence agency, during the height of the Cold War, to give their agents and elite snipers superhuman vision. The Soviets lost the war, and the US government managed to obtain this information. But instead of using it to improve people's vision, the method was deemed too strategically valuable and classified as a military asset, used exclusively to enhance the vision of Navy SEALs and Air Force pilots. The former government agent was arrested within 24 hours, but it was too late. The document had already spread across the internet, and several doctors and scientists downloaded it. I was one of the few who managed to get it.
Dr. Wang has sent us a copy of the confidential document he downloaded, and you can see it on the screen right now. There are more than 100 pages of the decrypted, translated version of the Soviet supervision strategy detailing the blueberry treatment and the studies conducted back then.
I knew it would be risky to talk about it, especially considering my family, my little daughter. But it was also because of family that I had started searching for a real solution for age-related vision loss. It was the nightmare my father was living in that brought me to discover the blueberry method. My father had always been active and independent. He liked to be useful, learn a bit of everything and fix everything on his own. But at 66 years old, his vision suddenly took a turn for the worse. He didn't tell me immediately when things started to get very blurry. He didn't tell me when his sight became so distorted that even glasses couldn't fix it. Knowing so much about my job, I think he was afraid of what would come next. Fear's got a funny way of messing with us, making totally irrational choices seem perfectly sensible. He stopped driving and started asking my mom to take the wheel instead. She told me she'd noticed he wasn't as active around the house, walking slower, bumping into things, dropping stuff, but whenever she brought it up, he'd brush it off, saying he was just tired, or that he was finally enjoying his retirement, like she had always insisted he did. Then one morning, he woke up and saw this dark blur right in the middle of his vision. He couldn't even see well enough to adjust the thermostat. That's when he broke down, quiet tears rolling down his face as he told me what was happening to his sight.
Mr. Chang was diagnosed with wet AMD, age-related macular degeneration, a common and severe condition that often strikes suddenly with little to no previous warning signs. In this particular form of the condition, the eye forms abnormal blood vessels that leak into the retina. Until recently, it was considered a chronic, irreversible condition, only manageable through frequent and expensive intraocular injections supposed to suppress the formation and the leaking of these blood vessels.
Though it brought temporary relief and slowed down his vision loss, injecting the eyes every other week was absolute torture, and I could see my father shrunking deep into despair. He could no longer read or help my mom at the house. He felt useless and restless, and sometimes I would watch him squint and scrub his eyes as if it could help him see better. I could see his sorrow when my daughter would try to show him something or ask him to fix one of her toys like he used to do. My father went from being a proud, independent man to someone who relied on my mother for everything. But the worst part was yet to come. One Sunday, we had a family barbecue. My daughter Emma, only 3 years old, was playing near the pool. My mom and wife had stepped out and I was at the grill. My father, who loved his granddaughter more than anything, was keeping an eye on her. Suddenly we heard a noise. Something fell into the pool. Then my father's desperate shout, "Emma fell in the pool. I can't see her. Where is she?" I ran and saw my daughter struggling in the water. My father was frozen, unable to locate her with his blurred vision. Fortunately, I managed to pull her out in time. She was fine, but my father was devastated. He fell into a deep depression and kept saying he had failed as a man, that he couldn't be trusted with his granddaughter. Seeing the man who was my hero destroyed, almost blind, was one of the hardest pains of my life. I felt like I had failed as a man and as a son too. What was it worth being a doctor with 14 years of experience if I couldn't help my own father? So I dove in on my research with renewed purpose. I promised myself I would scan every piece of information available, every scientific article, every medical forum. Day and night, I wouldn't stop until I have found a real solution. Months went by, and along with my father's joy for life, my hopes were getting crushed. Until one day, while browsing a medical forum, I suddenly saw a post titled, "The Confidential Operation Clearview: How to Improve Vision with the Soviet Secret," written by a former government agent who had worked during the war, revealing all about a classified document from the US government and the old Soviet KGB. I admit I was afraid to open the document. I didn't know if I'd get into trouble, but my desperation got the best of me, and as soon as I started reading, I was amazed by Operation Clearview.
The Operation Clearview documents prove that during the war, the scientific division of KGB had created a secret program to enhance the vision of elite snipers using frozen blueberries. This program was so successful that it produced men capable of seeing perfectly in the dark, at impossible distances. The starting point described in them was even more surprising. The CIA documents detailed how, during the Winter War, the Soviets encountered an almost mythical enemy, the Finnish Simo Häyhä, known as the White Death. He eliminated over 500 Soviet soldiers with a regular rifle, using no scope, just his naked eye in brutal conditions.
The legend said his secret was a vision-enhancing technique linked to blueberry consumption, what's now referred to as the blueberry method.
The Soviets invested heavily to decode and replicate this advantage, and they succeeded. Thus, the legendary Vasily Zaitsev, the Soviet Angel of Death, became the deadliest sniper in the Soviet Union. According to the files, the blueberry trick improved the Soviet soldiers' vision by more than 300%. Thanks to it, Zaitsev eliminated over 400 American soldiers with absurd accuracy. In low visibility, he could identify targets from over 1,300 meters.
But the most shocking part, the one that made me scared for my family's safety, is what the government preferred we never find out. After the war, when the Soviets were defeated, the US government gained access to all the details of this blueberry technique. But instead of sharing this revolutionary discovery with the public, they chose to hide the solution, keeping it as a strategic advantage for future combats, and in the process, making much more money from the revenue of the multi-billion-dollar vision industry.
In 2024 alone, the eye care industry made around $27 billion just from Americans over 65. That's billions earned every year from one age group. Overall, the U.S. optical market has grown to nearly $70 billion according to the latest Vision Council report. Right now, more than 240 million adults, about 7 out of 10 Americans, use some kind of eyewear on a regular basis.
All eyes are on vision problems in the U.S., and the news are disconcerting. According to a study guided by the National Institutes of Health, cases of visual impairment and blindness are expected to double by the year 2030.
Back in 1950, less than 20% of the population had vision problems. Today, the government alone makes over $20 billion every year only from tax related to vision treatments. It isn't hard to see why they prefer to keep people dependent on temporary solutions rather than freeing them with a permanent one. But now, with the blueberry method finally out in the open, everything's about to change. When I first discovered this blueberry method, I kept asking myself, how can something so simple bring back sight to people who could barely see light or even recognize a face anymore and work for so many different eye problems? But here's the thing, once you discover the real reason behind vision loss, you realize it's not rocket science to fix it. After more than 5 years of research, my colleagues at Harvard and I identified that vision loss does not come from aging, bad genes, diabetes, or even high blood pressure like most people think. In fact, the real culprit behind nearly every major eye condition, from cataracts and glaucoma to diabetic retinopathy and macular degeneration, is constant exposure to modern screen light radiation. The daily use of TVs, phones, and tablets quietly damages the most delicate parts inside the eye: the natural lens, the retina, and the optic nerve. In plain English, these are the critical parts that let you see. They create the picture and send it to your brain.
Doctors across the country have been warning about this for years, especially now as screen use has exploded.
Our eyes were never designed to stare into bright screens for hours every day. 70 years ago, most families barely had a television. This kind of light exposure is completely new in human history. And now, as screens have become part of daily life, we're seeing vision problems explode, especially after the early 2000s.
Think about it. For nearly all of human existence, the brightest light we ever looked at was the sun, and only for short moments, and never by staring directly into it. But now, we stare into TVs, phones, computers, and LED lights from morning until night. Study after study shows this high-energy light delivers constant radiation that slowly burns the eye, drying out and wearing down vital tissues, leading to vision loss over time.
In the early 1970s, before TVs were everywhere and long before cell phones existed, losing your eyesight was rare and usually happened very late in life, if it happened at all. Today, over 16 million Americans suffer from chronic dry red eyes. Nearly half the country struggles with blurred, distorted, or washed out vision. Night vision problems are now one of the leading reasons older Americans lose their driver's licenses. And diseases like macular degeneration, glaucoma, and cataracts that once took 70 or 80 years to appear are now being diagnosed in people in their 40s and 50s. That didn't happen slowly. It happened fast, right after TVs, computers, cell phones, and LED lighting became impossible to escape.
A 2025 Mayo Clinic study confirmed this using a synthetic film designed to mimic the same material inside the human eye that allows vision. Researchers exposed this eye-like film to a TV screen from a normal viewing distance to see exactly what modern screen light radiation does to the eye. What happened shocked even them. After just 60 minutes, the film began turning cloudy, as if its structure was overheating and starting to soften. After 5 hours, the film was visibly dry, and microscopic scratches had formed. In other words, the film was breaking down. And that's when the researchers took it even further. They followed 54 adult volunteers for 6 months, tracking the condition of their eyes before and after normal everyday use of TVs, phones, and computers. For reference, this is what a healthy eye tissue up close should look like. At the start of the study, the average participant's eyes already looked like this, but after 6 months of daily screen exposure, what the researchers saw was alarming. Take a look. The amount of visible eye damage practically tripled. At first, it's barely noticeable. You need a little more light to read. Headlights start to glare at night, colors lose their brightness, or tiny floaters start drifting across your vision. You rub your eyes, clean your glasses, and blame fatigue or age. But then one morning, that blur in the center of your vision doesn't go away. And for millions of people, that's how it begins, the slow, silent path toward blindness. The worst part is, when screen light radiation hits the eyes year after year, it doesn't just fry delicate sight tissues. It actually destroys the very stem cells your eyes depend on to repair themselves. Think of stem cells as your body's own repair crew. Every time something gets damaged, they rush in to fix it. You cut your finger, they patch the skin. You break your arm, they rebuild it from the inside out. These cells travel through your blood like tiny builders heading to a job site. Once they arrive, they turn into whatever your body needs, skin, blood vessel, or nerve, and replace the broken parts. That same quiet miracle is meant to happen in your eyes every single day. Tiny, invisible repairs that keep your vision sharp and clear without you even noticing. But when screen light radiation hits the eyes every single day, month after month, year after year, those same stem cells get fried and start dying faster than they can heal the damage. But how could you know if this is happening inside your eyes right now? After years of research, we identified 7 early warning signs that appear when screen radiation starts destroying the eye's natural healing system. 1. Do you wear glasses and still struggle to see clearly? That's because glasses can't fix what's broken inside the eye itself: damaged lenses, weak blood flow, or inflamed retinal cells. 2. When you look up from your phone or a book, does the world stay blurry for a few seconds before it clears up? That's a sign the tiny muscles that control focus are starting to weaken. 3. Have things started to look hazy or dull, like the world's losing its sharpness and glow? That's often the first sign your macula isn't getting enough oxygen and nutrients. 4. Do you find yourself needing more light to read, or struggling to drive at night because headlights feel blinding? That's a sign the eye's natural lens has been damaged and can't focus light cleanly anymore. 5. Do you see little dots or shadows drifting across your vision? That's a sign the retina, the part of the eye that sees pictures, has been damaged. 6. Have you noticed your side vision fading, like the world's closing in from the edges? That's a dangerous sign of nerve damage that can lead to irreversible blindness if ignored. 7. Are your eyes constantly dry, red, or irritated? That's a classic sign of screen light radiation drying out and damaging the eye's natural protective layers. If you said yes to any of these questions, it's very likely that screen light radiation has already started damaging your eyes. And if you said yes to 2 or more, research shows your eye repair system has already shut down, just like my father's before his vision suddenly went dark. Now listen closely. God works in mysterious ways. I was terrified when I saw my old man, my hero, nearly blind. But that moment pushed me harder than ever. I had no choice but to find a way to reverse eye damage and restore his eyesight. And by the grace of the Lord, we did it. Today, Dad's back to his old self, tinkering with his tools, playing golf, yelling at the news, and pretending he knows how to use the remote. And it didn't stop with Dad. When we tested it with my patients, their vision went from a dirty, foggy window to crystal clear, like seeing the world through freshly cleaned glasses. Blurry vision began to sharpen. Tiny letters in the Bible turned clear again. Colors bloomed back to life, bright, vivid, and beautiful. Their night vision came back, and with it, the confidence to drive anywhere, anytime. They could recognize their loved ones' faces again, in detail, clear as day, even from across the room. Even the constant dryness, burning, and strain started to fade, replaced by comfort and clear, easy vision. But that's not all. Patients like Mike, a 90-year-old veteran, won one more battle after going from legally blind to seeing well enough to safely drive again, and read his newspaper every morning. Or Paul, a 68-year-old patient who'd been dreading cataract surgery until one day his blurry vision began to clear, sharpening like a brand new natural lens, making that surgery completely unnecessary. Their secret is simple. All they did was try this blueberry method I'm about to show you to dramatically increase the eye's healing cells and shield the eyes from screen radiation damage. Our medical team calls it the eye rebirth effect. My team and I went back to where it all started, deep inside the Soviet research files known as Operation Clearview. And for months, we studied every detail of what they called the blueberry method, the same one that once gave Soviet and Finnish snipers an almost supernatural ability to see through fog, snow, and complete darkness.
The Soviet scientists, without realizing it, had stumbled upon something far greater than a military advantage. The same method that once gave their soldiers hawk-like vision is now helping everyday people reverse blindness before it even starts, restoring every delicate layer inside the eye damaged by screen light radiation.
But behind this powerful war secret was something surprisingly simple: the wild Nordic blueberry. Not the regular kind you buy at the store, but a rare variety that grows in the Arctic tundra, a frozen desert where winter nights drop to -30 degrees Fahrenheit and summers barely hit the 40s. In that brutal land where most life can't survive, these berries fight back, forced to produce 3 times more anthocyanins than regular blueberries just to stay alive.
These anthocyanins are the potent antioxidants that give the berries their deep blue color and their eye-restoring power. Once inside the bloodstream, they work like an army of tiny doctors for your eyes, repairing delicate tissues like the lens, retina, and optic nerve, the parts that create clear, sharp vision and send it to your brain.
When we first put this to the test in 2023, we didn't expect what happened next. Partnering with Harvard researchers, we gave over 550 people with serious vision loss, from macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy to chronic dry eye and glaucoma, a daily 750 milligram dose of wild Nordic blueberry extract.
At first, nothing dramatic happened. By the end of the first week, most patients simply said they felt lighter. Some even noticed their daily headaches were gone. But by the third week, both their feedback and the eye exam data left the research team stunned.
It's been 2 weeks since I started the treatment, and my eyes feel cleaner than they ever did with the $900 shots I'd been taking for the last 2 years.
I've been on this blueberry stuff for 9 days now, and the floaters in my eyes are already half what they used to be.
I see no more curvy lines that were supposed to be straight, and the headlights at night don't bother me anymore.
Within just 21 days, 96% of participants, including those once declared legally blind, went from barely recognizing faces to seeing the world again in vivid, high-definition color.
Knitting was my joy after retirement, but since my retinal detachment, I couldn't see a single stitch. 2 weeks on the blueberry method, and I'm knitting again, just in time for my great-granddaughter's birth.
I thought I'd never play golf again because of my cataracts. Even surgery didn't help me hit the first hole straight. But ever since I started this blueberry stuff, I'm back to playing my best game.
The secret wasn't just the berry, it was how it's preserved. To replicate the Soviet and Finnish results, the anthocyanins must be frozen through a cryogenic process that mimics Arctic conditions where these berries naturally grow. Standard drying or freezing destroys up to 80% of the active compounds, making most blueberry supplements useless.
That's why nearly every other blueberry supplement fails before it ever reaches your eyes. But this cryogenic process, the one described in the Soviet files, preserves their full potency, allowing your body to trigger deep cellular repair. Now here's what makes this so extraordinary. The moment these anthocyanins enter your bloodstream, they dramatically increase stem cell production, the very cells your eyes use to heal themselves naturally. Once this surge of stem cells reaches your eyes, they rebuild every damaged eye tissue, layer by layer, cell by cell, like replacing an old scratched pair of glasses with a brand new one, and they do it faster than screen light radiation can destroy your vision again. It's like rescuing a plant that's been baking under the sun, its leaves brown, brittle, and ready to die, and then, within days, watching it stand tall again, vibrant, green, and full of life.
My side vision came back, plain as day. Now I don't have to twist my head side to side just to see the cars coming up next to me.
That dark spot in the middle of my sight made every waking hour feel like work. I used to pop aspirin twice a day for the headaches. Now they're gone, and I can finally enjoy my favorite movies again.
Those darn floaters used to dance across my eyes all day. Now it's like somebody finally wiped the windshield clean.
Driving at night used to scare the daylights out of me. Headlights looked like fireworks. Now the glare's gone. The road looks sharp and clear all the way home.
At this point, the wild Nordic blueberry was clinically proven to work on its own. But Dr. Wang and his Harvard research team discovered 2 other ingredients that don't just support the process, they supercharge it, cutting the recovery time nearly in half and ensuring the regeneration is complete and permanent.
The first ingredient is called the lutein and zeaxanthin complex. It's made from marigold flowers, those bright orange petals you see in gardens. Once inside your body, these nutrients go straight to the back of your eyes and work like natural sunglasses. They block the UV and blue light from the sun, phones, and TV screens, the same light that slowly burns and weakens your eyes over time. They also shield your eyes from toxins and pollution that make things blurry and dry. Together, they protect the part of your eyes that keeps everything sharp, bright, and clear, just like cleaning the smudges off a camera lens.
A 5-year clinical study by the National Eye Institute followed more than 4,000 men and women aged 58 to 86. Researchers found that those with the highest levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in their bodies had 54% lower risk of developing glaucoma, 68% lower incidence of cataracts, 72% fewer cases of diabetic retinopathy, and astonishing 86% lower chance of suffering from advanced age-related macular degeneration, the #1 cause of blindness after 60. Even more remarkable, people who were already losing their sight began to recover it. Their macula grew stronger, the retina responded faster, and colors came back to life.
When I discovered dozens of clinical studies proving the eye-shielding benefits of lutein and zeaxanthin complex, I knew I had to include them in our formula. Then we found the last piece of the puzzle. It's called astaxanthin, a rare natural compound extracted from red marine algae found in the cold waters off Japan. Listen, your eyes are among the most energy-hungry organs in your body. Every time you blink, focus, or adjust to light, your eye cells burn enormous amounts of energy in what scientists call ATP, the fuel that keeps cells alive. That energy is produced by mitochondria, the tiny engines inside each cell. But when screen light radiation fries those engines, your eyes run low on power, and the sight healing process nearly shuts down. Astaxanthin acts like rocket fuel for those engines. It slips into the mitochondria and shields them from damage so they can produce more energy. That extra burst of power supercharges your eye's recovery, helping them repair at double the speed. In fact, a clinical study at the Mayo Clinic gave a daily 12 mg dose of astaxanthin to 254 people struggling with vision problems, from eye strain and blurriness to early macular degeneration. After just a few weeks, the difference was incredible. 89% of the astaxanthin group reported significantly clearer vision, sharper focus, and far less eye fatigue. Advanced eye scans showed their eye cells were working like they were 8 to 10 years younger. In short, astaxanthin didn't just protect their eyes, it turned back the biological clock. Together, these three ingredients create what we call the eye rebirth effect. The wild Nordic blueberry dramatically increases the production of sight repair stem cells, healing damaged tissue in your natural lens, retina, and optic nerve from the very first day. The lutein and zeaxanthin complex works like natural sunglasses for your eyes, blocking screen light radiation before it can damage delicate eye tissue. So even if you spend hours every day watching TV or staring at your phone, your vision stays sharp, clear, and protected. And the astaxanthin pumps raw energy into your eye cells, speeding up healing and bringing your vision back to life. It's not about slowing vision loss, it's about reversing it, rebuilding every cell in your eyes, and bringing your crystal clear 20/20 sight back. Dad was the first one who tried it. Every morning he took one capsule after breakfast. After 1 week, nothing really changed. But by week 2, the constant blurriness started to fade. He could finally read the numbers on the TV again without squinting. Dad still had a dark patch in the center of his vision. But for the first time, it wasn't getting worse. It was actually getting better. By week 4, straight lines on the wall looked normal again. That blind spot started to fade, lighter, almost see-through. He even started reading the newspaper again just to test himself. Then came week 8, and that's when my mum couldn't believe her eyes. Dad was back in the garage working on his old Mustang, grease on his hands, radio on loud, same smile he used to have years ago. Mum looked at me and said, "He's back." And she was right. From that day on, I saw him doing the things he loves again, driving his 1970 Mustang, confidently, even at night, reading bedtime stories to my little girl, and even playing golf with his buddies, bragging that he humiliated them all. Seeing that spark come back in someone you love, it's priceless. If my dad, a man who was almost blind and could barely walk to the mailbox without stumbling, recovered nearly perfect sight in just a few months, then millions of others could too. All I needed was proof that this discovery could work far beyond macular degeneration. So I called over 250 patients struggling with all kinds of vision problems, from retinal detachment and diabetic retinopathy to macular degeneration, cataracts, and glaucoma. First, we ran complete eye scans and blood tests, checking their stem cell activity and inflammation levels. Then, each of them received a full supply of the wild Nordic blueberry formula, the exact same treatment that brought my father's sight back. Just a few weeks later, they returned to my office for follow-up exams, and what we saw left everyone speechless. Margaret, who could barely read the headlines in her morning paper, said the letters suddenly looked sharp again. Joe, who hadn't driven at night for 3 years, told me headlights no longer blinded him. And even Sarah, diagnosed with severe diabetic retinopathy, said she could finally make out her grandkids' faces again, clear as day. In short, it didn't matter what condition they had. Once stem cells began repairing vision, and the eyes were shielded from screen radiation, healing started on its own like a simple wound. Even the most severe cases, the almost blind, were seeing again. All they had to do was keep feeding their eyes with the formula to keep their new healthy lens.
My 4-year-old daughter was going blind. There were no warning signs. Her eyes just started turning inwards out of nowhere. The doctor said it was dystrophy from some rare genetic condition. I was devastated. Then my mom saw something on the news about clinical trials for this blueberry method, so we asked her doctor if it was safe and if it might help. 2 weeks later, her eyes looked almost normal again. Even her doctor couldn't believe it.
I couldn't even tell where my coffee mug was without turning my head almost all the way. That's how bad my vision had gotten. Then one morning I looked up from the table and realized I could read the clock on the microwave again. Just like that.
I had just about every eye problem you can think of. Cataracts, glaucoma, eyes dry as a desert. Watching the ball game had turned into mostly listening for me. Then my daughter heard about this blueberry stuff on the news and started pushing me to give it a shot. I'll admit I only did it so she'd quit nagging me. I didn't expect much, but after just a few days my eyes quit burning. I didn't need drops as often, and every morning when I woke up it was like my windshield had been wiped a little cleaner. Now I even bought a new TV so I can watch my games in style.
The results spread fast. Soon, even Michael Caine wanted to try it for his glaucoma.
I'd heard it from my doctor, and I'd seen it in 2 of my own aunts. That glaucoma was a life sentence. Then I tried Dr. Wang's natural method. 3 weeks later, I was reading the morning paper again. No magnifier, no squinting. I wouldn't call it a miracle, but it feels pretty close.
Then came Morgan Freeman, and his story made headlines.
A medical breakthrough the FDA is calling a milestone in eye health. Dr. Wang's blueberry natural formula has achieved a 96% success rate, restoring 20/20 vision even for patients previously considered legally blind. Among more than 17,000 documented success stories is Academy Award-winning actor Morgan Freeman, who was previously scheduled for cataract surgery.
I wasn't happy at all with the idea of surgery. Having anything sharp anywhere near my eyes scared the hell out of me. So it wasn't a hard choice to sign up for the trials. A pill every morning sounded a whole lot better than a scalpel. I'd heard good things from Michael Caine, and I knew Meryl Streep had fixed her vision with the same doctor, but still, I was surprised. After just a couple of weeks, my eyes felt brand new, and that's how I was able to get back on set in time to act on Now You See Me 3.
Today we're talking about one of the most exciting breakthroughs I've seen in eye health. My good friend Dr. Wang, one of the most respected ophthalmologists in the world, has developed a completely natural formula that's actually reversing vision loss, even in severe cases. I've known Dr. Wang for years, and when I saw his data, I was genuinely impressed. It's effective, has no side effects, and it's changing lives.
At that point, it was undeniable. This formula worked. More than 24,000 patients were reversing all kinds of vision loss, without surgery, injections, or drugs, and without those eye drops we doctors know barely mask the problem. All that was left was to make sure every single American losing their sight, and with it, their dignity, could get their hands on this life-changing treatment too. That's why today, I'm proud to introduce Visium Pro. Visium Pro is the world's first 100% natural solution designed to target the newly discovered, scientifically proven root cause behind nearly every type of vision loss. Modern screen light radiation that quietly damages the eye's most critical parts, the natural lens, retina, and optic nerve. Inside every capsule is a precise blend of rare Arctic blueberries, lutein plus zeaxanthin complex, and astaxanthin, proven to dramatically increase sight healing stem cell production for rapid natural vision recovery, while also protecting your sight from screen damage, even if you keep watching TV or using your phone for hours every day. It doesn't matter how long you've had vision problems. It doesn't matter if you're 50 or 90 years old. It doesn't matter how many different eye conditions you've been diagnosed with: cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, or diabetic retinopathy. And it doesn't even matter if you've been told surgery or injections were your only options. When stem cells start healing your eyes, layer by layer, faster than screen radiation can hurt them again, your clear vision starts to return. Colors look brighter, shapes become sharper, and for the first time in years, the world around you starts to feel alive again. What makes Visium Pro so effective? Actually, there are 7 reasons. 1. Visium Pro uses the original Arctic-grade wild Nordic blueberry extract, the same species found in the Soviet military research files. Most so-called blueberry supplements are made with cheap mass-produced berries from China with almost no active nutrients left. Visium Pro berries naturally grow in the frozen Arsenal Arctic tundra, where plants are forced to survive brutal -30°F winters, producing 3 times more anthocyanins, the antioxidant that fuels vision repair. That's why most people notice significantly sharper vision and less eye strain within weeks, not months. 2. It combines all 3 ingredients proven to fully regenerate your eyes from the inside out. Together, they restore your vision in 3 different ways. Wild Nordic blueberry dramatically increases sight-healing cell production to repair damaged eye tissue. Lutein plus zeaxanthin complex works like natural sunglasses that shield your eyes from sun radiation damage and from the radiation of TV and phone screens. Astaxanthin supercharges your mitochondria, the tiny energy engines inside your eye cells, supporting rapid eye regeneration. No other formula delivers this exact combination in the same clinically proven concentration. 3. Our cryogenic extraction preserves 99% of the eye-healing natural compounds. Most companies heat dry their ingredients, destroying 80% of the nutrients right in the lab. Visium Pro uses cryogenic freezing, replicating the Arctic's natural conditions to preserve maximum potency. That means every capsule works exactly as intended, delivering all the concentrated sight-healing nutrients straight to your eyes. 4. Its capsules are made for maximum absorption and effectiveness. Most capsules dissolve too early, and stomach acid destroys the healing compounds before they ever reach your eyes. Visium Pro liquid microcapsules are engineered to survive stomach acid and release directly into your bloodstream, so they can reach your eyes and start repairing almost immediately. 5. Every bottle of Visium Pro is double tested for purity and potency, first by our internal lab and then again by an independent third-party facility. This guarantees every capsule you take meets the highest medical grade standards, 100% clean, safe and effective. 6. Visium Pro sources its ingredients from the same suppliers, trusted in 90% of clinical vision studies. Our core ingredients come from the same certified sources used by Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and the National Eye Institute. That means Visium Pro doesn't just sound scientific, it's literally made from the same materials used in the world's leading studies on vision restoration. 7. It's made in an FDA-certified facility under the highest safety and purity standards. Every capsule is non-GMO, preservative-free, sugar-free, salt-free, and made right here in the USA under strict GMP quality control. There are no chemicals or fillers at all, and it's perfectly safe to take alongside your daily medications, even blood pressure pills, diabetes drugs, cholesterol meds, or vitamins, with 0 conflicts or side effects. That means you can take Visium Pro every day with total peace of mind. Visium Pro is the only formula in the world that meets all 7 of these standards. That's why doctors, ophthalmologists, and thousands of Americans now recommend it as the #1 natural vision restoring treatment available today.
I've seen patients go from legally blind to 2040 vision in under 8 weeks with Visium Pro. Honestly, I've never seen results like these, not even from surgery.
For 15 years, I've watched single mothers slowly lose their sight because they couldn't afford the $900 a month eye injections. Now, with Visium Pro, I finally get to offer them something real, and I see tears of relief instead of despair.
When I saw how it corrected Michelle's retinal damage, the very first patient I recommended Visium Pro, I knew I couldn't ignore it.
Since then, I've recommended it to every single patient who walks into my clinic.
And now, I'd like to invite you to try Visium Pro for yourself, completely risk-free. It's easy to use Visium Pro. Just take 1 capsule in the morning after breakfast. That's all it takes to start experiencing these incredible vision-restoring benefits for yourself. A simple 5-second ritual that will completely change how you see the world. Just imagine for a moment, you open your eyes one morning and suddenly, everything feels different. You walk to the kitchen on your own, without stumbling or feeling your way along the wall. You pour your coffee and watch the steam curl up through the warm sunlight coming in from the window. For the first time in years, you can actually see it, clear as day. Then you pick up the newspaper, and every single word jumps right off the page. Not just the big headlines, everything. Even the tiny verses in your Bible look crystal clear again. You don't have to rely on those audiobooks anymore. You can read again with your own eyes. Think about it. How much would it be worth to see the beauty of the world again? To sit by your garden and, instead of a faded blur, admire the deep red of the roses, the butterflies floating from flower to flower, the birds singing in the morning light. How much would it be worth to see your loved ones' faces again, truly see them, to look into your partner's eyes, to admire that gentle smile that once made your heart race, and to feel that spark come alive inside you once more? Would you want to look at your children and see them as they are now? Not as you remember them, but the way their faces changed over the years, the kindness in their eyes, the pride when they smile at you, all clear again. And what about your grandkids? Imagine them running to you, holding up a drawing and saying, "Look, Grandpa, look, Grandma." And this time when you say it's beautiful, you actually mean it. Let that sink in for a second. How much would it be worth to have your whole life back, to feel independent again, to feel close to the ones you love, to know you're back? That's priceless. That's why, when we finalized the Visium Pro formula, our biggest concern wasn't whether it worked. We already had the proof. The real challenge was how to make it affordable for every American losing their sight. You see, Visium Pro is not cheap to produce. Its Arctic berries grow in the frozen lands of northern Finland and Sweden, thriving where the air is crystal clear, the extreme cold never fades, and the summer sun glows for 24 hours straight. There's only a 40-day window each year when our supplier can harvest them at their peak potency. On top of that, every batch of Visium Pro needs to be made through a cryogenic extraction process, performed exclusively in an FDA-certified lab here in the United States. We use cutting-edge frozen extraction equipment, preserving every molecule of the berry's natural vision-healing compounds at full purity and potency. That's what makes Visium Pro one of the most advanced eye-restoring formulas ever created. So yes, it's costly to make, but when you compare it to the alternative, you'll realize Visium Pro is actually affordable. Eye surgeries often cost $10,000, and many patients need follow-up procedures that add thousands more. Monthly eye injections can cost $100 with good insurance, and up to $2,000 per eye without it. And that doesn't even count the emotional cost, not being able to see the faces of the people you love, to read, drive, or enjoy the simple things you once took for granted. The cost of depending on others just to go to the store, to cook a simple meal, or to recognize your own kids and grandkids across the room. When you think about it, getting it all back is priceless. It's no wonder why my patients were begging for more Visium Pro afterwards. We sold out last time, and right now, our current batch is almost gone again. Our supplier said the next batch won't be ready for another 8 to 10 months, but I've reserved a few bottles exclusively for people watching this presentation, and they're available only here on this page. You see, if we sold Visium Pro through CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Amazon, or Target, they'd easily slap a price tag of over $200 per bottle, and that would slam the door in the face of millions of Americans who need this most. So we made a bold decision. We cut out every middleman and deliver Visium Pro directly to you, right here on this page. No pharmacy markups, no distributors, no retail prices. That's the only way we can keep Visium Pro affordable while maintaining our strict medical grade standards. Now we're proud to offer Visium Pro at just $99 per bottle, a fair price considering the incredible eye restoring benefits it delivers. Now before you get yours, let me tell you something. The results can be dramatic and fast. I've seen it thousands of times, but true deep sight repair, complete restoration takes time. This is a treatment, not a miracle, even though many of my patients say it feels like a miracle. In the first few weeks, it's like giving your eyes a walker so they can start moving again. But you have to keep nourishing your eyes with these vision healing nutrients until they can stand and see on their own again. That's why I created 2 special vision restoration kits. The first one is the Complete 2020 Vision Restoration Kit. It includes 6 bottles of Visium Pro, the full 6-month treatment, giving your body the time and concentrated nutrients it needs to flush out toxins and inflammation, restore your eye's natural self-repair cells, and shield your vision from future damage. This is the very same treatment that's already helped thousands of patients with severe vision loss see the world in crystal clear detail again. Normally, the Complete 2020 Vision Restoration Kit would cost $588. But because you're watching this presentation right now, you have a rare opportunity to secure your treatment through a special offer available only for new customers. We want as many people as possible to experience Visium Pro and see the difference with their own eyes. So for the next 24 hours, those who order through this presentation can secure the 6-bottle Complete 2020 Vision Restoration Treatment for just $294. That's only $49 per bottle, and it is a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no auto billing, no hidden charges. What you see is exactly what you get. And when you order your Complete 2020 Vision Restoration restoration treatment today, shipping is absolutely free. Now, for those who want to improve their sight a little or are just starting to notice the first signs of vision loss, there's a 3-bottle kit of Visium Pro that provides the minimum 3-month treatment. With this option, you pay for only 2 bottles and get the 3rd one completely free. It doesn't offer the full eye protection of the 6-bottle complete 20/20 vision restoration treatment, but it's still a powerful solution for anyone in the very early stages of vision decline. And the best part? You can try Visium Pro today, completely risk-free. You're fully protected by our 100% money-back guarantee on every treatment option available. You don't have to say yes to Visium Pro today. Just say, maybe, let's see what happens. If you are not absolutely overjoyed at finally taking your life back, walking, reading, driving, watching TV, and most of all, looking into the eyes of your partner, your kids, your grandkids, and truly seeing their smiles again, simply send an email to the address printed on your Visium Pro bottle anytime, and you'll receive a prompt, courteous refund of your full purchase price, even if every bottle is empty. No questions asked, no hassle. I intend to treat you the way I'd want my own dad to be treated. And offering you this guarantee is the most honest way I know to show that Visium Pro truly delivers. It's easy to order. Look right below this video and choose the treatment that's best for you. I personally recommend the complete 20/20 vision restoration treatment, the 6-bottle kit, because it gives your body the time and nutrients it needs to achieve full, lasting eye restoration. Next, click the Buy Now button. You'll be taken to our secure order page, protected by the same payment technology used by Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. Then, just fill in your name, email, shipping address, and payment information, and click to confirm. That's it. Your bottles of Visium Pro will be on your doorstep in just 3 to 5 days, anywhere in the US. Remember, this special offer is available only today, or while our batch lasts. Our mission is to bring dignity back to every American who has been slowly watching their world fade away, who once could drive, read, recognize faces, and now feels that independence slipping through their fingers. That's why we've removed all profit margins and cut out every middleman to deliver Visium Pro at the lowest possible price, right here, right now, on this page only. And once this batch is gone, it may take 8 to 10 months before Visium Pro is available again. We can't rush the wild Nordic blueberries to grow and mature. Nature moves at its own pace. So if you miss this opportunity, the only option left is to wait for the next harvest. And to be completely honest, given the number of patients already in ongoing treatment, it's very likely that the entire next batch will be reserved for them first. That's why, to encourage you to make the best decision for your eyes today, we've prepared something truly special. The first 20 people who secure the 6-bottle complete 20/20 vision restoration treatment will also receive a private one-on-one online consultation with me held over Zoom, where we'll discuss your specific case in detail and I'll personally answer all of your questions. Normally, a private consultation with me costs $300, but for you, as part of this special program, it will be completely free of charge. You'll also receive a signed hardcover copy of my book, From Darkness to Sight, delivered right to your home along with your bottles. I wouldn't give you this book if I weren't 100% certain Visium Pro will help bring your vision back. And once it does, I believe you'll be amazed, not just by the thousands of real success stories from patients who were nearly blind and regained their sight, but by the simple fact that you can read them yourself again. But as I said, both the private consultation and my signed book are limited to the first 20 people who secure their 6-bottle complete 20/20 vision restoration treatment today. Oh, and before I go, I feel it's important I tell you about one more thing. The cost of not taking care of your eyes, because this is not a problem that fixes itself. If you are dealing with constant blurriness, light sensitivity, cloudy vision, dark spots, or trouble focusing, if reading feels harder, night driving feels dangerous, or faces are starting to blur together, then you are likely already in the early stages of retinal degeneration. Even if you are willing to spend over $100 every month on eye injections or $10,000 on surgery and your sight improves a little, the inflammation will keep spreading. Think of it like this. Imagine never cleaning your glasses again. At first, just a few smudges, annoying but manageable. Then one day, they are so filthy you can barely see through them. That is exactly what happens inside your eyes when inflammation and oxidative stress build up. Your lenses cloud, blood flow slows, photoreceptor cells suffocate. You might be fine for a while, maybe you get a stronger prescription, maybe you turn on another light, but eventually your eyes hit their breaking point. You cannot read the morning paper. You cannot recognize faces from across the room. You cannot drive at night, or at all. You can barely make it to the mailbox, and when that happens, your independence slips away. I have seen it too many times. Good people who could have stopped the damage but waited too long. The truth is, your eyes are one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body. They need constant protection and fuel to stay alive. Without it, the damage does not stop. It spreads. What starts as a little blur becomes dark spots. And one day, everything goes black. But this is not the full story. Your optic nerves sit deep inside your skull, directly connected to your brain. And when inflammation attacks the eyes, it doesn't stop there. It creeps upward, quietly, destroying brain cells too. That's why people with eye problems often start forgetting simple things, where they left their phone, their keys, or why they walked into a room in the first place. It's not just age, it's inflammation spreading to the brain and killing neurons. In fact, after reviewing 14 studies involving more than 6.2 million older adults, scientists discovered that people with vision impairment have a 47% higher risk of developing dementia than those with normal sight. When that happens, people don't just lose their vision, they lose names, faces, memories, until there's nothing left to recognize. That's why it's critical you get this handled now, before it's too late. Fortunately, there's an easy way to fight back against the inflammation destroying your eyesight. Simply take one Visium Pro capsule each morning after breakfast. Within just a few days, you'll start to notice clear, exciting changes in your eyes. You wake up and the world already looks sharper. Your eyes don't feel dry or heavy anymore. They actually feel awake. That pressure that used to sit behind them, it's gone. You can just open your eyes and see. You find yourself watching TV, reading labels, phone screens, and menus with ease. You don't have to squint or hunt for more light anymore. Words look crisp, edges sharp, and that fog that used to hang over everything finally starts to lift. Don't be surprised if you start recognizing faces again. The neighbor across the street, the mailman, the person waving from far away. Colors come back to life. Instead of those milky, washed out tones, the sky looks like a deep blue painting. The grass a rich, clean green. And that glare that used to make you turn your head doesn't bother you anymore. You'll probably also notice you feel more confident moving around. You walk through rooms without reaching for walls or bumping into things. You grab your cup of coffee without missing it. You find your keys, your phone, even little things on the counter, clear as day. And then, I can't tell you exactly when it will happen. It may be in a few days, or maybe a few weeks, but it will happen. It's something I call the clear vision moment. The clear vision moment is when you wake up one morning and realize everything looks different. You can see the dust floating in the sunlight, the steam rising from your coffee, the numbers on the clock, and the leaves outside moving softly in the breeze. You look in the mirror and, instead of a stranger's face, you see you. Then you look at your partner, your kids, your grandkids, and this time you really see them. The faces you love, their emotions, their expressions. It's like the whole world switched back to high definition. That's the moment everything changes, because you realize this is how you were always meant to see. You read, you drive, you cook, you shop, you garden, you live again, the way life was meant to be lived. Think about it. Isn't it time to give yourself this gift, to see the world as it truly is, to not spend the rest of your life just remembering the faces you love, but to actually see them again, to finally feel alive and enjoy the life you worked so hard to build, instead of just surviving through it? Click the button below and give Visium Pro a try, completely risk-free. If you are not 100% satisfied for any reason, just let us know and you will receive a prompt, courteous refund of your full purchase price. No questions asked, you have nothing to lose and your vision to regain. Thank you for watching and God bless.